Hello grade 5 students. I hope you all and your families are fine and safe. As you started with lesson 7 last week, today I'm going to explain the lesson for you. First of all, we're going to start with the standards. Today's standard is RL.5.10. RL stands for Reading Literature, 5 stands for grade 5, and 10 stands for the number of the standard. So by the end of the year, you're going to be able to read and comprehend literature, including stories, drama, and poetry, at the high end of the grades 4 to 5 text complexity, independently and proficiently. Let's discuss it together. So by the end of the year, you're going to be able to read and comprehend. What do we mean by comprehend? Comprehend means to understand. So you will be able to read and understand. Understand what? Literature. What is literature? Literature is, for example, stories, drama, poetry. These are called literature. Literature are writing works like stories or poems or plays or even shows. So these are all considered literature. You're going to be able to read and understand this kind of literature. At the high end of the grades 4 to 5 text complexity, at the high end of its hardness. So complexity means hardness. And how are you going to achieve this? Independently and proficiently. Independently means depending on yourself, so by yourself. And proficiently means excellently. So by the end of this year, you're going to be able to read and understand literature at the high end of its hardness, by yourself and excellently. Now we're going to meet the author and the illustrator. So the author is Fred Gibson, as you can see his picture here. And the illustrator is Mark Elliott, and here is his picture. Fred Gibson was born in 1908 in Texas's Hill Country, which became the setting of many of his stories. He believed that Old Yeller was his best book. It won the 1957 Newbery Honor and was made into a movie. Although Gibson died in 1973, his books remain popular classics. Mark Elliott. Like many kids, Mark Elliott loved to draw dinosaurs. Only Mark was determined to draw them life-sized on taped together cardboard in his living room. These days, Mark tries to keep his illustrations to a size that fit between two book covers. He lives on a farm with sheep, 2 donkeys, and 2 crazy long-haired cats. So these are brief information about the author and the illustration. Let's move now to the type or genre of our story. Our story is historical fiction. What do we mean by historical fiction? Historical means something that is made in the past, or something that is old or ancient. Fiction means unreal or imaginary. So historical fiction is a story set in the past. It contains characters, places, and events that actually existed or happened, or that could have existed or happened. So when you read a historical fiction, you're going to look for realistic characters, some made-up events, and details that show the story took place in the past. In this slide, I'm going to give you a summary of the story. Travis was tired. He had worked hard all day. Suddenly, he heard his brother, Little Arliss, scream. Then Travis heard another sound. It was a charging bear. The bear was running after Little Arliss. Travis strained to run even faster. He ran toward his little brother's frantic screams. The bear was angry. Travis saw Little Arliss. He was holding a bear cub, or baby. The bear cub clawed and cried, but Little Arliss was too scared to let go. The bear cub's mother came bounding out to save her cub. Travis thought about Little Arliss. Travis was picturing what might happen to him. The bear went lunging toward her cub, but then a big yellow dog ran at the bear. Travis grabbed little Arliss. Travis thought he was going to have to kill the bear, but the yellow dog kept her away until Travis was safe. Travis ran back home. Later, the dog had a good romp around the fields. Travis was happy that he was able to keep the dog he called Old Yeller. Elements of story. Here are the elements of the story. I added the title, just to grab your attention to the title of the story. So the title is Old Yeller. The characters we're going to mention on the next slide, the setting later on, plot, and solution. Characters are the persons or the people who are in the story. Setting is where and when the story took place. Plot is the problem. Solution is how the problem being solved. First of all, characters. As you can see here, the pictures of each character in the story. So we have Papa, the father of Arliss and Travis. They did not put any picture for him, but they mentioned him at the beginning of the story. Mama, as you can see here, the mother. Travis, the one who's holding axe. Arliss, the little boy with his mother. The charging bear. The baby bear or the cub. And the yellow dog, which is the Old Yeller. After characters, we have the setting. The setting of the story is where did it happen and when. So the place and the time. The story takes place in the Texas frontier, and the time it was in the late 1860s. After that, we have the plot and the solution. So the plot is the problem. The solution is how the problem is being solved. The problem started when Travis heard his little brother Arliss screaming out loud. After he arrived to the place where his little brother is in, he found a charging bear roaring and is about to harm little Arliss. This is the problem. How was it solved? The problem was solved when the brave Old Yeller defended Arliss and saved him from the charging bear. This is the end of today's lesson. I hope you all enjoyed the story as I did, and I'm going to see you soon in another video showing some questions about the lesson, and we will discuss them all together. See you soon.